Hello, all one talk lo Papua New Guinea. Mi hamamas long bungi you pala now. Na Mary Blomi, Roana, and me come sit down one day me. Sample of time picking Mary Blomi to pala windy, helping me the time talk. So now we got one for the time talk. Mary Blomi yet and by time talk.
Hello, all friends from Papua New Guinea. I'm so glad to be here with you this evening. A lot of times I have my daughter translating for me, but today I have my wife, Roana, here.
Now, me been story before long. Me been bunging this pala very long. Papua New Guinea yet. Time me been stop long tumble. Now, Papa na Mama Bloen, Madame Sabra Brother Susa, only been come. Now me pala bunging more long tumble. Now, first time me looking him long tumble long Papua New Guinea.
I think I told the story before about my wife and how I met her. The first time I met her was in Papua New Guinea at Tombul in the Western Highlands district.
Na me bungi mem na biyan me pala selling pass kami go na biyan me come to America na me to pala married na biyan me pala go back.
Well, I met her and then we wrote letters back and forth, and then finally I came back to the United States and we got married.
Na me pala married na 6 weeks that's all me pala go back again long Papua New Guinea.
6 weeks after we were married, we were back in Papua New Guinea.
So me have a mas long and me stop one time me now and by time talking go English.
So I'm happy that she's here with me now to translate into English.
Now story me like make him today and story belong all Wild Wirus.
The story I want to tell you today is about the Wild Wirus.
Now you pala all Wirus line. You pala woman go blow me now. You know can bel hard them name Papa blow me been give him long online Wirus.
All of you Wirus, don't get mad because Wamananga is the name.
My friends.
Okay, you're my friends, and that's what my father gave that name to you.
And time people have been come stop long Kaupina. One time Papa na number 2 Mama blow me. People had him story long upside long mountain, a bush. He got up a line or talk him line Wirus.
When we came to Kaupina, we kept hearing stories, my stepmother and my father and I, about all of these people behind the mountains, and they were wild, and their names were Wirus.
Now, I'm all not looking white man come yet inside long village blow all.
They'd never seen a foreigner before inside their village.
Now, people had him story long. All he stop all same, the Papa told, you mean my sing out him all somebody can come.
We heard that they were there, and so my dad said, let's call for some of them to come.
Now, this for the time, Gamani woke him Tambu to talk. You fella, all white man, no can go inside because all white is stopped and no good all killing you.
The government said that we couldn't go into the Wirus because they were fighting and they were worried that we'd get killed. So
Papa Blomi Salim Sablamani go and they talk. You fella come looking white man on Kaupina.
So my dad sent some scouts out, some men from Kaupina, and said to the Wirus, and said, you all come and see Kaupina.
Now only come now, man. Through 2 months, only look all some wild man straight.
Well, when they came, for sure, they did look like wild men.
I'm all stop bush line through only come now. Only look around or saying, and one kind line only come stop along here.
Well, they were just really bush people, and they were looking around and thinking, who in the world are all these people here?
Now behind Papa talk, me got one for a school. Now me like you for a go to kiss him all picking blow you for a Salim me come. Some for a young for a man, Salim only come now they can come on school on Kaupina.
And my dad said, you all need to go back and get some of the young guys and tell them to come here and go to school at Kaupina.
Now, all right. Now, all go back. Now, all Salim sample young for a man blow all come on Kaupina. They come school on Kaupina.
So they said, sure, we'll do that. And so they went back to the Wirus and they got some of their young guys and brought them to school at Kaupina.
Now, close to all at the time, all stop all right.
Most of the time they were okay.
That's all. One for a day, all who came some kind play or kick him on come and go.
One time they were making a game of kicking each other, kicking different kids.
Now, behind only broke long two line because long inside long Wirus. Now, we talk about Pangia district. It been got sample young pala blong line birua too or it comes stop.
Oh, but then they broke up into two different groups because inside of Pangaea there were also two different groups that were enemies.
Now sample all start long all play kick na biyan all kick no good through all go fight now.
Some of these enemies were playing ball, but then they started kicking really hard, and they were kicking these kids, and it was like their enemy, and so they were kicking them, and it wasn't too good.
Now biyan all go fight him DY now all go fight team na para one time DY now. You know kick him long leg no got all like fight one time DY.
But then they stopped kicking with their legs, and they went and got pieces of wood and started fighting with those.
Now brother blow me Paul and me stop na me tupala go na hold him this tupala line now.
My brother Paul was there, and so both of us got on either side, and we held back those two different tribes that were fighting.
All manus are all leader from this biru line now like fight. Me go hold him one pala, Paul go hold him another, me carry me go put him blow another house.
The leaders of these enemy tribes, Paul got one and I got one, and we took them in different houses.
Me talk this pala kind something you know can make him mission station in place from God now. People don't got fight down here.
I said, you can't do this. This is a mission station. This place belongs to God, and you can't fight here.
Now biyan all talk sorry now, biyan all belizy now, alright. Me pala look out him all go night time or cool down now or lose him fight.
Later they sort of cooled down, and they said they were sorry, and by the time evening came, they had stopped thinking about fighting. And
now behind me pala had him story or same government by give him some license long, some white money could go inside all this place. We do.
And later we heard the story that the government would be giving some license for different people to go into the Widu.
Now, one pala Kia, Emmy go stop on Pangaea. Now we'll give the government station on Pangaea.
And one Kia was at Pangaea, and he had a little government station there.
Now him try to make him all people look and find us in the good so some other missionary or can come inside.
So he was trying to help everybody behave and have good behavior so that they could bring missionaries in.
So Papa Blomi shall him pass along government they talk. Like him Piccadilly Blomi, Gerald Bustin, na me, na Mrs. Blomi, na sambal nara two missionary, people like him, you give him pass, the license, people can go inside and they go sit down inside along place we do.
So my dad wrote to the officer and told him that he would like for them to give a license for Gerald and for his wife and for himself and a couple of other missionaries to go inside the Widu and be able to live there.
Now, although no time yet, so probably we go straight long little one for water lambu place say mark blow upside water and we do not. Not a side to come back, him side blown Yalibuna or to place Kewa.
So my dad realized that the time wasn't there, so he went up right to the river Lambuli, and he sort of camped there at that spot until it was time for us to go in.
Me pala walk him house kunai na me pala got one little house low too na house blown all boys sleep na one little house clinic blown look at all sick line.
So we had a little house that was made out of grass. We had a clinic. We had a place for the boys to sleep, and we just sort of set up camp there until it was time to go in.
Now behind all line inside of we do all Harry people come stop all will come. Every day some line will come to look people.
But the Widus realized that we were there camping out, waiting to come in, and so they started coming to see us every day.
People in Nona Brooklyn water they go upside because government tambuta so all can come alongside people so all will come now.
We couldn't go across the river, but they could come, and so they started coming over to see us and visit.
Now beyond all talking, Papa say, you people must come to village below people.
And all of them were saying, you need to come to my village.
Now, if Papa told village below you people, want him.
And my dad said, "Where is your village? What's the name of it?"
Now somebody talk, oh, village belum people. I'll talk Mele. Mele and name belum village belum people.
They said, "My village name is Melly."
Now nara pala I'm talk, no, village belum people am Apanda.
No, the other one said, "My village is Apanda."
So I'll talk, you belum must come along Apanda.
You have to come to Apanda.
Now all Mele line talk, no God, you must come along Mele.
All the Melly people said, "No, you've got to come to Melly."
Now Papa talk, all right, some people missionary, two people missionary, and by people selling me come along Apanda. Now me, na Mary, na Piggy belum me, Gerald, and by people come along Mele.
So my dad said, "Okay, we'll send 2 missionaries to Apanda, and then myself, and my son Gerald, and my wife will go to Melly."
Now Papa, he been asking Tambu belum me, Victor Chamberlain, and talk, you sabi man belum, pick him good for a place, belum give station, finding water, all this pala. So time all lot of people go inside. Me like you go past line, now you must help me like find a good for a mission station.
So my dad realized that our relative, Victor Chamberlain, had a very good sense about where to set up a station and how to set it up. And so he asked him to go in and to help decide where to locate things.
So one pala afternoon, man, me pala kiss him license now. License he come.
One afternoon, we got the license.
Now Papa talk, hey, you must kiss him motorbike. Now you, how you go Tambul? Now you talk him Chamberlain, come now, Emily must come to help me finding ground.
And then my dad said, "Okay, Gerald, you get on the motorbike as fast as you can, go to Tomball, and tell my son-in-law, Victor Chamberlain, to come as quickly as he can because we've been given the license to go in."
Man, this pala time motorbike below me, and we stop along Yalibu, long one mission station along Yalibu.
My motorbike was at Yalibu at a mission station.
Now you got all same 2 or 3 hours or walk about the Brookie Bush to go come up along
It
Yalibu.
took 2 or 3 hours to get to Yalibu.
Me 60 go now, me go come up along Yalibu now. Me start the motorbike.
So I went as quickly as I could, and I came to Yalibu and started my motorbike.
That's on 2 dark like come
But
back.
it was already dark.
Now me looking, I light blow motorbike, you know, walk yeah.
Oh no, the light on the motorbike doesn't work.
That's on moon he walk along.
But the moon was coming up.
So me told him, you're right. Me
So I
having
said,
this
"It's
road by me
okay.
go.
I know this road, so I'll go."
So big night, me walk along, go, yet he go come up along
In the
Tambo.
middle of the night, I just kept going and going and going until I came up to Tomball.
Now me go sing out to Chamberlain and me talk, hey, you must go now, Castle, because door you open now. Papa like go hurry
I
up.
called the Chamberlain, "You've got to hurry up and come because the door's open for us to go in, and my dad's late and he wants us to go right now."
So me start back like na Chamberlain kiss him not up on a motorbike blow him, the M16 he go down long, boogie Papa blow me.
So I stayed there for a minute, and Chamberlain grabbed another motorbike and he went down and met up with my dad.
Now walk about he go boogie bush, they go come up blow
Then
me.
they went through
Melly.
the bush and they came up to Melly.
Now behind me come backside on this plan, and me come up along Melly one time.
After that, I came behind them and I came up to Melly too.
Now this time, you know got place Balus long Pangia.
No airplane landing strip at Pangia at that time.
And place Balus is stop on Yalibu.
The landing strip for the plane was at Yalibu.
So all get the cargo me pala kiss him, and we come on down Balus and we can put him
So all the cargo
long
had to
Yalibu.
come to Yalibu.
Now me come up man blow, walk about he go, he come he go. Now he go one time online, people go carry cargo to come kiss him long Yalibu, the carry become up Melly.
So I was the person that was designated to go with the other people, and we would walk back to Yalibu and get the cargo and walk back to Pangia and back and forth and back and forth.
Inside long 3 moon, me been making 21 time me walk about Pangia, he go lo Yalibu, and the Yalibu come back long Pangia.
In 3 months' time, I went from Pangia to Yalibu and Yalibu to Pangia 21 times.
Now me pala cargo he go inside.
And I brought the cargo in.
So and me pala start the Melly station now long. This pala time Papa blow me na stepmom or say number 2 mama blow me.
So that's the way we all started the Melly station. My dad, myself, and my stepmother.
Now this pala time me been kissing sabi naglit long talk place in boom talk place long Calvina.
During this time, I had learned some of the Calvina in Boontalk place.
So now me start long kissing talk place below Wild Wirus.
Now I wanted to understand the Weedy language, so I started learning that.
And me pala go long low too man. Online yeah, almost I see not go long low too. Talk you come we go.
When we'd go to church, nobody sat down quietly. They would just talk back and forth.
Now all Mary talk, all man shut up him all.
All the women would talk, men would say, "Shut up him."
And na biar all Mary talk you go back long man, the man far up talk you go back all Mary.
So then the men would holler at the women would holler back at the men. It was a lot of confusion.
Now one for a talk me had him or can him talk plan the time him Puri Maya.
A lot of times I kept hearing that the interpreter, they were saying Porimea before they interpreted it.
And me will go talk sit down easy.
And finally I understood that meant to sit down quietly.
Now behind me will go kiss him lick long talk place we do one.
And then I learned a bit of the Weedy language.
Sorry, time finished now. But my story more long, not about time behind.
Well, our time is up, and so we'll have to continue this story later.
Now, sample you pala Wild line you pala harim. You pala friend below me.
So all of you Weeders have heard it, and you're a good friend to me.
So I think telephone far up, it must mean also people must finish now.
So the telephone's calling, so I think we're going to have to finish now.
Look him you pala again sample of time.
See
God
you
bless.
later. God bless.